in human history. He goes as far as to say that it's an offering, this first offering of an AI phone. There could really be some big things in store for us. Yesterday, Apple introduced us to their newest offerings and product line upgrades. And seeing that Apple was the first $3 trillion company, they're probably worth listening to, I think, don't you? Now, in spite of the iPhone being such a great device already, he argues that Apple is on the verge of a great phone upgrade cycle as consumers opt for these new phones with AI, which they've cleverly coined as Apple intelligence, right? Of course. He cites the potential for better time management and maybe the death knell of the personal assistant. Who knows? But digital payments and shopping could all be enhanced and overhauled. Now, I had to have him on the show just to hear what he has to say about all this new stuff and how it might be affecting our lives. Please welcome to the show, David Stryzewski. David, thanks for being on. You seem excited about it. And I have to tell you, truth be known, full disclosure, I'm an Android guy, so it all went over my head. What do you got?
Well, it's amazing, even of my friends and other people that even follow tech, and I would say kind of have their fingers on the pulse of things, they were really oblivious to the fact that Apple was making all these product launches here in September. Why? Because we know Apple to be doing that in December, per the usual, right around Christmas time. So this is an earlier than normal rollout, but man, what an exciting one. So as you just noted, Scott, the iPhone was obviously the #1 consumer product ever sold, obviously the #1 phone sold. And so when they begin to share all these different ideas about integration between the phone that now goes to the watch, that goes to the iPad, that goes to the MacBook, that goes to the earbuds, that goes to everything that they're doing, you recognize that they're really coming up with an integration that is going to, start to get into our lives and make things simpler. And that is really the thing that I think we've been waiting for here in AI, rallying on NVIDIA chips and how powerful and amazing OpenAI and ChatGPT ultimately are. Well, guess what? Siri just got an upgrade, finally, and it actually is using some of OpenAI. And I know Elon Musk and others have shared, considerable fears about, hey, if this is in their phones as native, that's not going to work out very well for us. So that's why it's important that Apple intelligence that you noted there, it's Apple's version of AI that they actually are doing more so inside of your phone. So it's a safer way to do AI than just giving your information out to the rest of the world, because it's happening inside of the device itself.
Okay, so, you mentioned that they were the first $3 trillion company, but you also put in your note that you think that this could make them the first $4 trillion company. And so it's all about making money, all about the revenues. Where does the drive from that come from?
So we've got 2 billion customers right now with Apple, and maybe, looking at you for the 2 million and first client switching from Android. But no, 2 billion people is a massive market. This is such a significant percentage of the earth today. And so as Apple was we know them as one of the most biggest innovators pre-AI. What are they going to be post-AI? What are they going to be now that they can really get this going? So I think there's a $2 billion massive market upcycle, and that's why I wrote in there, yes, they were the first to 3 trillion. I think they will be the first to 4 trillion, potentially even 5, if they can get this right. Because what Apple tends to do is they're a little bit slower to the punch in getting some of this going. They weren't even talking about AI until July. Now, just 2 months later, they're rolling out, that they've been doing this across the board. And so I think that's really exciting. I think that a lot of consumers are going to see how easy this is, maybe with these new buttons, new ways of interacting, smarter chips that have the ability to function more effectively and do some of these things because they were made specifically for the phone. And again, I'm just going to contrast this with an NVIDIA chip that is in many cases light years beyond what we have the capabilities for today. Obviously, AI is fast and it catches up, but I don't think that we've really come to terms with what is going to be the best chip going forward. And that best chip going forward, the best tech going forward, is going to be the most efficient, the one that gives us the most ability to integrate it into our lives. So I think that Apple is literally poised right now, given the fact that, these devices in our pockets are everyone's computer walking around. And if you can make my life easier, if you can eliminate my need to do more administrative things, if you can follow up with texts and emails easier, if I can speak into Siri and say, send my wife all the pictures from Saturday's event, and it'll just do it. These are the things that I think, most people are really interested in. But everyone gets a free upgrade. So, all Apple users will get an opportunity to use it starting next month.
Well, maybe I'll come on board if it can massage my feet, bring me a glass of red wine, or light my cigar. Well, then maybe I'll buy an iPhone. But my question to you is,
got a couple of years, I think.
This is where the money meets the road. I'm looking. I think Apple's around $220 a share right now. Is that right? Am I looking at the right thing?
Yep.
What could all this do to the share price? I think that's really what a lot of viewers would like to hear too.
Sure. Well, if we understand how the market cap works, I mean, if we go from a 3 trillion company today to a 4 trillion, 5 trillion, literally what we're doing is we're looking at, 300 Apple, 400 Apple. And ultimately it comes down to, hey, with the Fed cutting, that should be better for big tech, as long as inflation remains under control and the consumer doesn't drown underneath the waves. I do think this for Apple, though, if people are asking for Christmas presents and bigger items, I think a lot of people are going to advance in the technology, get tools that are going to make their life a little easier, and choose some of those ideas maybe as opposed to other more expensive thoughts that are out there right now. So again, I think that Apple's just positioned very right now for this AI surge. And yeah, the stock price is probably going to go to 300, 350 here within the next 12 to 24 months. But, ultimately, again, some of that comes down to how's the economy going to play out.
Right. Well, if we do see a big sell-off here, if things get nervy, I mean, might be a good time to maybe pick it up for cheap, because if it does ultimately do what you think it's going to do, that'd be a good risk-reward ratio there. All right. Really appreciate you coming on. I didn't really think of it that way, but now I've been educated, and we'll have to see. Maybe I do get, maybe I poured over sometime soon here. But